Hello everybody and welcome back to another tutorial by NovaPans Handpans. Today we are moving on to pattern number 30. Of course this is similar in the past where we continue the patterns related to preceding patterns. So if at any point you feel that perhaps some of the content in here is moving too fast or there's too much content, then check out the previous pattern because that will help you. Pattern 30 is simply a continuation of this kind of playing with the ding rhythm, which was pattern 28. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4. Yeah, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And pattern 29, the latest pattern, was essentially replacing the second and fourth beats with a knuckle. So essentially we have 1 and a 2 and a 3, sorry. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4. Counting that 3, considering it's a tie and playing at the same time, is a challenge. So if you can get your head around that, well done. Ideally, we just want to be able to play it. Now, some people will be wondering, especially when you play it slowly, what does it sound like in context? Now, when you speed this up after you've practiced it plenty of times, so that you avoid any habits, bad habits, it will sound like this. This is what we're aiming for. But we've got to do it one pattern at a time. So continuing with this, today we're going to start replacing some of those quaver note rhythms with semi-quavers. Essentially, we're just turning these quavers, this one and this one, into semi-quavers. So we're just giving them a little sibling, essentially. So now we're going to have the remainder of this set now being played as semi-quavers, and likewise we're going to fit in, we're going to fit in another one here as well. They're all the same note, they're all the ding. All that's happening is we're playing more of them, which means less weighting. So the rhythm now is 1 and a 2 and a E and a, sorry, 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Yeah, and even the 4 is played now as semi-quavers. So that's what's going on. We're really increasing the sense of speed. There you go. And they just repeat that. By converting those quavers into semi-quavers, we're increasing the pace of the music. Ba 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 ba. Played slowly, that is 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, remember when we count semi-quavers per beat we go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, where the ands are directly on the half beat. So you've got 1 and, remember this is a quaver, this is the only remaining quaver in this whole piece now. And let's not forget that semi-quavers have 2 tails. So we have to put that there as a rhythm. So yeah, don't let any of this confuse you, but essentially we've got quaver, semiquaver. That's why I'm only writing 1 and then 2 E and That ties over to the 3. So I'll just do a little tie there to give you a reference of the fact you don't play those 2 notes separately. You just play the 2 E and hold it till 3, and then play the 3 E and 3 E and 4 E and So essentially it's 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and where you don't play the 3. That's pattern 30. Sounds like this. And then repeat it. Do remember that even though it's tied and you don't play the 3rd beat, which would typically be a right hand, you still begin the next note, which is on the off beat, the first semiquaver there, the 3 E, with the left hand. Everything is right, left, right, left. There's no special double handing going on here. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and hold 3 E and 4 E. Slowly it's yeah, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 1, 1 and 2 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and there's also a right hand here. Normally I'd indicate it with blue, but I'll do red for now, so that you don't confuse it with other things. Yes, because if it was a set of 4 semiquavers, you would go right, left, right, left. Okay, so that's just a reminder. Otherwise, everything is right, left, right, left. So that is it. Interestingly, my right hand immediately goes to playing the thumb on the shoulder after this. And I don't recall devising any sort of symbol for the shoulder in the past. But since it's got a much more of an open ring to it compared to the ding, which is a little bit more poignant, I might use the symbol so I'm doing this just for the right hand. So the right hand here. Right hand there. Right hand there. Those notes are the ones I'm using. The shoulder. And I haven't really ever implied a new symbol for the shoulder. So I've got to think about it. What I would probably do is, as we do in percussion, change it from a simple black note into a more percussive indicator. So there we have a cross, just in the same way we have that as a knuckle up there, which makes me wonder why it's up there. The knuckle should be here, or rather, I've misplaced that. The knuckle should be up here. So we're all learning this because we already have notes here, okay? If I did put keep a knuckle there, it would imply perhaps a knuckle somewhere around that note it's played. So really the knuckle can be anywhere you like, if I placed it anywhere here. And even that might imply a knuckle. So this is why we're going to work it out together. Because that could easily be a knuckle down there, and that is a note in itself. So why create confusion between what a cross means? So what I'm going to do as an indicator here is circle it. So it's a circled cross. And that's going to imply that you play the shoulder note. That's just specifically the shoulder note. Okay? There's no special knuckle or pitch bend going on. That's just the shoulder note. So the whole phrase is, the whole pattern is. Okay? Remember your simplified handpan notation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, also 1 down here. And therefore, the knuckle is in this space we have here, so put the knuckle there. If you see the knuckle anywhere else, it would just imply that it's still a knuckle, but you just play it somewhere perhaps closer associated to that note. For example, if we know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is up here, and you see a knuckle instead of 6, it might either imply a knuckle on the note of 6, which is probably something we'll explore, or it might even imply a knuckle next to it, which is its also own sound itself. You can hear knuckles all around the handpan have their own association. So it would probably reference, if it was on the 6, that a knuckle be played on the literal note. We're not getting to that just yet, but we have learnt this together. So the knuckle is in your expected traditional position of the generic knuckle wherever you like for now. One and a two-y and a one and a two-y and a three-y and a four-y and a one and a two-y and a three-y and a four. Notice how the shoulder note makes a very different sound. It's much more open. Which is kind of, it's quite effective, especially when you play faster, because it feels like there's a lot of noise going on. And it's a very percussive piece. And something else I'll throw in here, just as a little reference, is that I'm playing what you might call an appoggiatura, or acciaccatura. It's a note that plays just before the main note. So in which case I've got three of the ding notes being played just before here, and there's no set rhythm to them. But I'll just imply that they're super fast. You're supposed to just, in a way, feel that. And I'm doing a right and then two lefts, and it's like with my fingers only. So it's a left hand middle, left hand index. Now, how would I indicate that? I might put LI, LM, sorry, LM followed by LI, and it's just the right hand for the first note. In a way, they're like grace notes, but there's three of them. They play ever so quickly just before that main beat, and in a way, it creates excitement. Which is what we're all about developing this as much as possible. It's a very percussive pattern. It makes people wonder, is this a percussion instrument or a melodic one? And then you soon help them understand that it's everything, because you start playing chords. And whatever you end up developing with the melody here, you need not worry about, because as long as you return to the fundamental, you'll always be covered. You can always come home, so to speak. So that's good to know, and you can also implement many other patterns you like into this fundamental, so this rudiment rather. So there is pattern 30. We'll develop it further. It's going to get a lot more interesting. We're going to be covering chords as well. I'm going to research a couple new cymbals so that we can actually differentiate between, say, a pointy hit on a note, which isn't really distinguished here, or hasn't been distinguished so far in all of our teaching. Typically we expect to play the handpan with just the flat tips of your fingers. But of course, a flat part of the finger has a very different sound to a pointy part of the finger, which has a very different sound to the knuckle part of the finger. And they're all a note in their own right. But how would we notate that? Since we've actually notated, for the most part, up until now, everything, assuming it's the flat part, I'm actually using pointy, my bony tips of the fingers here. I might essentially just call it staccato notes. And staccato, these are what we call articulation. And articulation just indicates how the note should be played. So a dot on a note is a staccato, which is the Italian musical term we use in Western music, traditional Western music, to indicate play it poignant, play it kind of it's like a sound which is cut off in a way, which is very different to, say, a sound which plays for the full length of the note. So that's a staccato. You don't mute the sound. You just, in a way, you do mute the sound. But what we're doing is, which is very interesting with a percussion instrument. How do we define that? For now, I'm just going to indicate that these notes should be staccato, but they don't have to be, and there's another term for it, super staccato, which would probably involve literally stopping the note, as I did. But for now, I'm just going to use that as a reference to the fact I'm using the bony tips of the fingers as my attempt to play staccato. We will probably integrate a new symbol to indicate a difference between playing bony tips and playing muted. Of course, when you're beginning the handpan, it's not necessary to learn all these advanced techniques because you're actually trying to get as much of a resonant sound as possible. But as you probably advance on the instrument and the handpan evolves as an official and more integrated musical instrument into the world of traditional musical instruments, people are going to want to be able to differentiate between all the various techniques and be able to notate it. So it'll be interesting to see how this evolves over time. For now, this is, as far as I'm aware, the first reference to how to play the handpan on sheet music. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you. Bye-bye.